Hello and welcome once again, everybody, to Trick Roll. Jesse will be joining us shortly, and I forgot to shut off my the sound. Hold on a sec. We're gonna okay. Now Twitch will quit yelling back at me. Let's try that again. Cut here. Start over. Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of Trick Roll. Jesse will be joining us soon, but I am sure that Kyle can manage a few minutes wandering around town all by himself without causing any major disruptions. Kyle, would you like to introduce yourself and your character? Kyle, can you hear me?
Um,
Okay, there you
yeah,
go. Sorry, you were
I
taking a
am.
while.
I'm Kyle Trisman, and yes, I can. I am. I am Kyle. I go by Flint Ewood 756 here on Twitch. I will be returning to streaming. Coming this next 2 weeks with the return of um Beyond the Spine with my co-host Nick. We have been actually working on scripts this time, mainly because I've got the time to do that right now, but also um, I'll be returning to full-time streaming during the week to progress strength training because I'm now in a gym.
So you're going to start up Jim Bro content. I love it.
Dude, I'm actually fully embracing my wargamer side, and apparently when you do that, you start lifting weights and going to the gym on top of being a full-on nerd. So it's
No,
like
go for it, man.
suddenly you're just like
Hey, you know what? On TikTok, some of my favorite creators are the people who are combining nerd and workout stuff because you have these Vikings out there showing everybody how to swing a hammer. I was like, that's the workout. We hit things with hammers,
uh,
and I'm like, I can get behind that.
not to mention that they're constantly paying people's weight in silver and gold and talking about that they're needed for Ragnarok.
That as well. That as well. I'm actually going to be getting back into more streaming myself because I've decided to take the first session that Kyle and I ever played together, the Expendable Crew, and I want to rewrite it for Anime 5e. So I'm going to be putting things out there for that in the near future, trying to get a another storyline going because I've learned a lot in my years since then, and I've always been curious what's going to happen if we take new people, put them into that opening scene, and see how it plays out different. But speaking of you know, scenes, Kyle Joseph Lucerno has been traveling sometime with his friends. Jacob had to he popped off over to the Broken Claw to do some work. That's why Arshis won't be joining us today, but he wanted to do some side work so he could build his portal sealer device a little bit quicker. So for right now, it's you. You are arriving in the city of Deep Mills. It's a very large city, has its own it's got its various guilds, and as you've been coming in, you've seen a lot of signs and notices. There'll be things like uh, beware the spiders in the caverns. There are flyers for missing people that might be connected to the spiders, but if you were to ask, the spiders have been there for a long time. That's sort of like a long-term thing. So bounties for spider legs are a constant in the city. And they also have some formidable looking guards walking around. They appear to be mostly constructs. But
um, okay. I just look kind of shifty at the constructs because they're very well noted for just enforcement of laws very strictly, like more strictly than a lawful good paladin who's been sober for the past 80 years. Um, so yeah, I'm going to try and look at the missing persons stuff for the people that have gone missing recently,
Okay,
because
sure.
when you've got that many spiders around,
Yes. Again, like I said, if you were to ask anybody, like I said, it's a major threat to anybody who tries to go into the mines. The reason they will risk it is because apparently there is a large number of sapphires in this area. Like you even see them just like growing on the natural stone outside the city. So people will sometimes risk it to go and mine the sapphires. So a lot of them are for people who some actually there's probably a few professional miners. Is usually the people who are trying to make a quick buck and didn't go fully prepared. So there's always some extra work for adventurers who want to go and protect the official miners. But yeah, it's a lot of the people, you know, last seen heading into the mine or buying supplies.
I'll start off with checking out potentially who would have seen these people buying supplies
Well, the general
and
store
working
would
my way from
be
there.
a very obvious one. And because you know the thieves' can't signs around a town, you can also find, the various people who run the underworld side of things. So if you want any contacts in that area, you know how to find those people.
I will do so
Okay. Do you
because
have
that
any? Because of course this is not the area I planned for the story to head down originally, so I need to make up a couple of people. So who are you going to go talk to?
I will talk with Frank Zapata. Um, and more than likely I'll have to talk with his daughter Moon first.
I wasn't so much asking for an exact name, but sure we can do that. But what does Frank do? Why are you talking to him?
Frank used to be a bard. Nowadays he's a fence because he can really use those old charm ways to get the best sort of haggling prices with people because it allows him to be charming while also being shrewd as possibly can be. Um,
Okay.
so yeah,
Okay. So
that's how he does it.
Frank runs the local shop, and he is very well known for being a fence. Okay. And
Yes,
one other thing you've noticed since
but
you got into town, your natural telepathic abilities seem to be a little bit more amplified here. You think your range is doubled? Okay, so you make your way over to Frank's shop, Frank's Emporium.
I I just waved to his daughter Moon,
She waves back.
but if she's then just
And how can I
walk
help
up.
you today, sir?
Frank, I need to know, did you have anybody come in recently who were looking like these missing people for some general supplies recently?
Okay, so Frank is the one you would sell the crystals to. He doesn't sell the mining equipment. Like mining
Would you know
equipment,
who
that
they would?
you don't need to illegally buy that.
Um, do you know where they would have gotten it, and if anyone's come back with any of their stuff that was unique to them?
Well, I can't say I've seen any missing people because by the very nature of them being missing, I would not have seen them. If I had seen them, they wouldn't be missing. Got it? Got to think about your words a little bit there. It's like,
Have you
did you
seen any
see
of their?
anything invisible around here? Like, well, no, can't see anything invisible. Why is invisible?
Frank, have you seen anything of theirs that would like have held their initials or something?
Well, I would like to help you out, but this is like some very sensitive information. There's active ongoing investigations.
I take out two gold coins and I start rolling them between my knuckles. And it's just like a very nonchalant sort of two coins. And then it goes up to three. And then it goes up to four. Just pretty much waiting for what he's going to say. Yeah, yeah, I might know something.
Yeah,
Just
he's waiting
constantly
for that
rolling
fifth
back.
coin.
Going on to the fifth.
Yeah, and he'll just reach out and snag them or try to. He rolled a one, so he
I'll
just scatters the coins, and he's got to like take his time to pick them all up. And so one at a time, like, okay, so we had somebody who brought in a few scavenged items, and I say they were scavenged because uh I didn't really need to buy the broken pickaxes or anything, but he brings out a flask that has like is actually lined with some jewels and everything. It was a very, very nice flask. It belonged to a minor noble lord who had gotten into a little bit of gambling debt.
Is
So
this minor
people
lord one
assumed
of the
he
missing
came up
people?
missing because of that debt.
Oh. So who's the current holder of that debt?
Oh, that one would be I think Remy bought up that debt. Remy is a an under gnome who runs the local. Well, he doesn't run the candy shop, but if you're ever looking for something that the upstanding apothecaries won't sell you, you go over to Claudia's confectionery, and you probably already know how to get Remy to show up.
All right. I I had an extra electrum onto everything else. Just kind of lay it down on the countertop and go, "Thank you very much for that, Frankie boy." And then I start making my way through the city to find Claudia's confectionaries.
It's not too hard. It's a small shop, and it's the sort of place where people go in for some copper candy, but that's about it. So you go in, it's just instantly got that overly sweet smell, and there's a old halfling woman. Hello, dearie. What can I get for you today?
First of all, is there anybody else in this candy shop?
No, it's empty right now.
Does it look like anybody ever comes into this place? Because it might be like where, you know, that mattress store that you've got in the middle of town that nobody ever goes into, but for some reason is like the longest open business in the entire city.
I am aware of it, and if you were to have staked this out for a few minutes, there hasn't been anybody in or out in a little while, and it doesn't have like too many glass windows. In fact, like on the one wall that isn't just covered in various hard candies is sort of like a mosaic picture. So if you were to turn the lock on the door, nobody's coming in.
I'll now I'll just close the door, but I'll turn to her and go. So I'm looking for some Underdark specials.
I want you to make a charisma check for me, please.
Oh shit! And D&D Beyond is not working on my computer right now because my
Just
internet
need to
connection is
roll
the crappiest of the crap.
Get out your physical dice.
Uh, they're. Let me just see if I've got them. They're gonna be. No, I do. Ha ha ha.
Okay, I was
But I
gonna say
also
I
need
can
to know
start
my
rolling
modifier.
for you because
But if you've got the ability to check my sheets on there, yeah, I'll just need my modifier. Yay,
I
there's a
don't have
D20.
yours pulled up right now, but if you want, you can always take the natural 20 I just rolled.
Okay, I'll do that.
Right.
Because that's going to be quicker.
Yep. Yeah, that'll definitely speed things up. I'll just use the other roll to be how they interpret it. And even though the old one, the smile on the old woman's face never falters, but the voice coming out is, "What is it you're looking for?"
I'm looking to get some information on a debt that you're holding. My face is just placid. Like,
Yeah.
that's something new,
And
but that's
and
actually quite good.
as Claudia like waves a hand, the illusion surrounding her and the room fades away, as this is now definitely an underhanded apothecary shop, and a pale gnomish man, very old, pale gnomish man, staring back at you like, "Are you looking to pay off somebody's debt? Because I got no problem
I'm just
selling it."
trying. Oh, has it been that bad to be able to collect on, or is just that many people dying in connection to this thing?
I only loan out a few things, so I don't care if I sell them to somebody else. People who come to me looking for loans usually just didn't have the right connection. So I offer them a sweet deal. And if they don't pay up by this time, I don't mind selling it.
Okay. All right. So, how much is it?
Depends on who you're talking about.
The nobleman who connected to the disappearances?
All right, so the initials would have been TRJ.
Yep.
And so he kind of like goes through a couple of notes he's got. Yes, Terrence. He got into just a little bit of trouble with one of the up and coming crime guilds. So yeah, he needed a few hundred gold to get him through until the next shipment came in of whatever it is his family sells. But well, apparently he went through that really quick at the card tables.
Oh, what?
So 500 gold and
Okay,
the
how
debt is
much does he?
yours.
Oh my God, all I got is just three. All I've got is just 336 on me right now.
Well, I don't know you well enough to let you get it on credit. So
Nah, it's not like as if I'm a known credit collector. Well, not. I used to be a credit collector, but at the same time, it's not like as if I actually was the one who owned them. But how about I get in, get enough inventory to pay off the debt and get it over to you, and then I get 10% cut.
if you can bring in Terrence, or if you just want to bring in the what he owes, then you can keep whatever else you happen to have on you, I guess. Because from the way I just heard it, you wanted to bring in his debt. You wanted to pay off his debt in exchange for 10% of the debt, which would just be you giving him money and then
Oh
keep
no,
you a
no,
small
no,
bit
no.
for yourself.
No, originally it was I'm going to buy the debt off of you and then use it for leverage on the noble.
Yeah.
But now it's just like I don't have enough to buy off the debt, but I could still screw with the noble by stealing enough to get this debt collected in and also taking some stuff for myself. So
Okay, so well, that's something you would take up with the fence if you want to sell some stuff. Like Remy just cares about gold. So you either
all
bring
right.
in the person who owes him the money, in which case he'll give you a small reward, or you bring in the money and then you can do whatever you want to the Lord.
Oh, I like that one so much more. Okay, I'm going to try and steal enough off of this lord to be able to pay off his debt,
So like,
and then I'm going to lever.
Kyle, I love you, but I have to ask. I have to ask for clarification here. Your goal is to steal from the guy who is missing, who was in debt so bad he had to go to the poisoner for a loan, which he knew was probably a bad idea because poisoners don't will kill you quicker than the rest of the mob.
Yeah, I mean, either way, if I find something, I find something.
Okay, but how are you stealing from the missing man who was in debt? That's my
He's
question.
got to he's got to have some form of property around here somewhere.
Yeah, his family owns a trade business that he was squandering. He owed so much money, he was trying to dig up sapphires, and this was a guy who wasn't used to physical labor. Because he also owes money to the card house.
So if I steal his business and I get his body, profit.
Yes. Find the body. Step 2, step 3, profit.
No, it's literally steal the business is step 1. Step 2, find the body. Step 3, step 4,
Okay.
profit.
Sorry, this is like the son of the lord that own, not like the lord of the whole village of the city, but this is like a high lord who owns like some of the a trade route. His son is in debt. Like you can steal from the father, but you can't like I'd be very impressed if you could take his entire business away from him. That's what I'm saying. Like this is a merchant family. You can try to steal what the son had, but the son sold everything he had. Then he started banking off of the family name, and now he owes money to various criminal organizations. Remy is just the first one you came across. Now, if you want to go and swindle the father out of the business, I look forward to seeing how you try this.
Maybe I could swindle the father out of the son's inheritance.
I mean, to me, it's like you're looking for the most complicated way, but please continue down this weird path.
Well, the way that the way that I was seeing this is I could try and smooth talk the father into adopting me like as if I'm his own son. I take over the son's business, manage to manage to whoa. I also have insane psychic powers right now, it feels like. So I could talk to him from 2 miles away and not get shot immediately for how stupid this sounds. Because I know that's going to happen.
Um, uh, I just want to say thanks, Spidey, for letting me know that I had Kyle muted this whole time. That was embarrassing. Fortunately, I've been recording this on Zoom, so the VOD will have it up. So we'll just continue from here. My apologies, everybody.
So I'm thinking I'm thinking I get into the father's good graces. I take over the trade route that the son has been screwing up. I managed to use this as a way to get the group's other goals working forward because now we have a very legitimate business reason to continue along this trade route to get whatever everybody else needs.
Kyle, the only reason I'm going to say this about it is because we've only got like a 2.5 hour session, and what you're talking about is spending months earning this man's trust so that he looks at you like a son while his son is missing. His disappointment of his son, but he has a reward out for his son also.
I'm going to talk to him about just finding his son and seeing if that could be the way to just shortcut this entire thing. Just be like, I can prove that I'm better than your son. Why? Because I can find him and I have reason to actually travel along the trade routes, whereas your son doesn't seem to even care, except for, hey, diddle diddle, the gambling den in my fiddle. Let's go get away with the booze.
Okay, one more time. Your plan here is to go to this grieving family, tell them you will find their missing child, well, an adult child, but the disappointment son, the heir to the family, who has been losing their money on gambling. You're going to find him, prove you're a better son so that they will adopt you as the heir to the family business. Is this the plan you are proposing to me?
Novels have been written with less insight on a plot. Come on.
I just wanted to be sure. Okay, make your way to the. Did I give this guy a last name? I remember it was TRJ Terrence.
Terence Rene Jourdan.
Can you give me a name I can spell?
Rene is just Rene. Jourdan is just Jordan, just with a fancy French pronunciation.
So you make your way to the Jourdan estate. You tell the guard up front that you are here to investigate the missing Terrence problem. Go ahead and give me a charisma check on this, please.
Okay, so my charisma modifier is a +2. Can I do it with emphasis?
How are you doing this with emphasis?
Because if I screw up, it's going to be epically funny, but if I do it right, it's going to be epically epic.
Okay, let's be sure that we're on the same page about what emphasis is, because it was an idea that I liked. But remind me what it was, because it's been a little bit.
Brian Jordan's entire thing where you allow them to roll with emphasis, and whichever one is the furthest from 10 you keep. So it could either be either be a 1 or a 10 or a 20 or anything, any sort of combo. But if it's like a 5 or a 15, they would have to re-roll because they're equal distances. So like
Okay.
anything from
Okay, yes. Thank you. Roll with emphasis.
So the first one is 6.
Okay.
The second one is 6.
Roll the second one again.
19. So
19. Okay.
yeah.
The only reason I said so is because if it's a tie, I think it should be re-rolled. So you get the 19. You've talked your way past all the guards. You're in the sitting room. And I'm going to say you can speak to the father, who is very, very busy, or you can speak to like his business manager, who has all the information, but is a little bit more inclined to actually sit and talk to you.
I'll speak with the business manager.
Okay.
because the business manager will be a better friend of the father than me, and the business manager will be able to spin it much easier because the business manager might be able to the business manager might be completely fed up with the son and want him gone.
Okay. And give me another name.
I don't know. I've come up with Frank Zapata and Moon. How you didn't realize that was Frank Zappa, I don't know.
Because I don't know who Frank Zappa is.
You live in like country music central and you don't know rock music, which makes sense. Oh shit. I am a dumbass.
Well, I could have told you that.
Okay.
Like I could tell from the way you said the daughter Moon that you were going for something, but I did not get the reference.
His daughter's name is Moonlander. So yeah. um uh yeah. Business
Uh,
manager's name.
you
What's a good
know,
business manager?
I'm going to go with one. You're speaking to Butler.
Hello, Butler. How are you today?
I am quite busy. I am told that you have some information on Sir Terence.
Well, yes, I'm currently investigating his disappearance. The more that I look into this, the further that I see that he had quite a few debts in regards to um, his activities and was leaning upon the family name to be able to pay those off.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, he has spent several nights at a new card house and has lost substantial amounts of money. His father had finally cut him off. We are still actually in the process of paying off the debts that he incurred while he still was banking on the family name.
If I can procure his this young master, um, granted that his actions have not shown that he is an adult, so we shall use the proper epithet of a master then, um, and be able to get him to end the collections upon his father. Would you be willing to put in a good word for me to travel along for me to take on management of the son's former um, trade routes? That way I could be able to help bring the family back into good stead with local businesses and repair the damage that he has done to their coffers.
Oh. He's going to think about this for a second. And finally, he will say, I do believe that Lord Jordan would be receptive to working with someone who has proven themselves to be capable. Uh, I will not say that we will instantly grant you trade routes, but it would be a step towards proving yourself to be a capable associate.
Good. Well, then, if I manage to do this, then may I take on the second task of improving the family's reputation upon those trade routes that the son was
Let us see if
formerly
you can
dealing.
complete the first task, and then we will see how you can aid the family more. You are an
Right.
unknown reputation in this area, sir.
I shall do so with gusto then. I have reason to believe that he took to the mines where the uh,
The sapphires
blah,
and the
blah, 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 blah.
spiders. Yeah.
The sapphire and the spiders were. Um,
Those
I
are
will
the two
be
most expedient ways for a person to earn some money. And it does not surprise me that he was forced to take on such requirements because of the money that he owed Madam Shortly.
Madam Shortly.
That is
Is
the
she
owner
the
of the card house.
local?
She owns the card house that he's been losing money to.
All right. I can talk with her, see if well, hopefully I can talk with her, but I shall try to gain audience with her, see if there's any further evidence that they have, as this is my clearest lead at the current time, but should be able to get more clarification from herself in regards to that, and also discuss the terms of removing the burden off of the dear father. So, but thank you very much for your time, dear sir, and you take care and enjoy the rest of your day as much as possible.
You as well, sir.
Thank you very much.
And someone will show you out.
Joseph is now going to get himself very, very gussied up for a person of a thieves guild.
Okay.
So he's going to make sure that his armor doesn't squeak. He's going to be dressed in his best facial masking scarf, and he's going to go towards the back of the card establishment.
Okay. The card house is actually it's an upscale gambling house. This is a nice place. You know, it's definitely intended to bring in the rich merchants and the noble lords rather than just like they're not playing for copper here. And
right.
You get gussied up and sneak around to the back entrance.
Mm-hmm. I'm specifically looking for a place where people who look like me come in and out, be it like a window or like just straight up through a back door, because a place like this doesn't just speak of, you know, somebody who's got wealth. It speaks to somebody who's possibly a bit higher up in the local thieves guild than normal.
All right. You can make this an investigation or a wisdom check, more of an insight check than a perception, actually. I'll let you pick which one.
I'll go with an investigation because I got a +9 and I've also got a +8 to insight. So
Okay.
That is a 15 on the investigation.
Okay.
And the insight is a holy crap 27. So if I find somebody, they'll be like, "That's my people."
You believe that the best way to meet someone of, you know, proper standing would not be to sneak in, but to actually go through the front door and make I mean, you'll need to use your thieves can't skills, but you know, you need to prove that you're a player of their standard. Like they're not looking for a thief to sneak in. They're looking for someone who is ready to, I don't want to say make an audition, but someone who's just going to come in and be able to prove that they can do the job. So if you come in and you flash around the right amount of money and you say the right words, you'll get put at a table with Madam Shortly. Then you just got to try not to lose all your money.
All right. So I've got to go about this. The wealth speaks, money speaks, but wealth freaking whispers route.
Yeah, they're not looking for a thug. They're looking for somebody who can run their own like who can run their own job and just need a stake type of thing. So they want to talk to the boss of the group, not the underlings. That's how you need to present yourself.
All right. So I just make sure that my leather is oiled. I changed the facial mask from being just a pure facial cravat to facial covering to just making it more aesthetic, something that pulls more to a fashion sense,
Mhm.
but still has that this is a face covering for making sure that nobody fully sees who I am.
Okay.
I just completely clean my bald head.
So you spend about an hour getting ready.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
this is like, it needs to look vintage and well worn, but well cared for, and at the same time, not like as if I'm dirty. Because, there's a
Yeah.
difference between the guy who owns the law. There's a difference between the guy who's a manager, because the manager always wears a suit. Meanwhile, the owner comes in a polo shirt and cargo shorts.
That's not far off.
Yeah. So I come in with the vintage but nice look about me.
Okay.
So and just kind of keeping myself very low, very quiet, and just I'm watching I'm watching who's at the tables to see where my type of people are and what games they're playing, and
Well,
and just
you would actually need to like check in at the front desk type of thing.
yeah.
So, like there's basically, like the last day, if you wanted to take your coat and you know, your robes or whatever, there's a coat check section. And with what you've rolled, you know that you basically want to request a game with Madam Shortly, and they will tell you that she is only playing at the 10 gold table. So if you want to sit down with the game with her, you need to be willing to put up 10 gold per hand.
Mhm. Oh shit, that speaks of Three Dragon Ante. Okay.
She's
My
not going to waste her time with anybody who can't afford her minimum table settings.
No, I'm just kind of thinking on it in the view of my proficiency when it comes to tools for gaming is actually in dice sets. Shit. So it's like if she's playing per hand, that sounds like Three Dragon Ante. Well, screw it. I'll still try. I've got pretty
You know what?
decent sleight of
I
hand.
mean, we'll say that we can say you can request a dice game, but it's not so much the game that's going to be important here. But well, with your money, it might be. But
I'll
yeah, well, I've got an idea for a dice game on hand. So,
okay.
all right.
Good news is I've got plenty of dice now in front of me. I've got a
Okay.
bunch of D10s,
So,
D6s. So
what I'm thinking you're going to need here is the D4, the D6, and the D8.
all right, so D4, a D6, and a D8. All right.
Okay. So the way the game is going to work is as the table runner will explain to you, is that you rolled from the lowest die, and each turn you roll the next die. If you want to add in a bet each round, you can. The bet is a 10 gold minimum.
Oh, she's got this is straight up Yakuza kind of stylings. I like this. Okay, let's
Yeah.
do this. All
Okay.
right.
So Madam Shortly is a gnome. She has like dark hair, a dark robe on, but her, well, like a dark cloak on, but her actual clothes are like bright silvery thread, white. So it's quite a different. I mean, like she stands out type of thing. So you sit down at the table,
Yep.
new roller, place your bets.
I set down 10 gold.
Okay. And she'll put down 10 gold also. Roll your first die.
That's the D4, and I get a 3.
She has a 4 showing.
Mhm.
So she will put down she's going to raise on you. She's going to go to 20 gold.
I'll go up to 25.
It needs to be increments of 10.
Oh, increments of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'll call her on that then.
Okay. So the pot is now 40 gold. And you can begin your conversation anytime.
I'm going to start to start it out like very roundabout in Thieves' Cant, just kind of asking how everything's been going. I got a 5 on the D8.
Okay.
Um
Just so that we don't
no,
spend
D6. Sorry. Let me roll the D6.
Okay.
D6 I got a 4. D6
Okay.
is a 4. So
the other thing I will tell you is that you are in a remote enough location. You don't need to do too much side talk. Just because I think that's going to slow down our gameplay if you try to talk her too many riddles.
Yeah.
She rolled a 3.
All right. I will add in another 10 onto the pot.
Okay.
So raising it up to 30.
She will match that. And she will simply tell you that my business has been excellent lately. Rolls the final die.
Yeah. So I've got a 5 on the D8. I hear I've got a 5 on the D8 which is the final die. So
okay. What is your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 14, but I'm actually trying to keep an eye on her as much as I can.
So you're actively watching?
Yeah, I'm actively watching, but I've also got a passive insight of 18. So
I'll tell you what, since you're deliberately watching her, give me an insight check. Well, not an insight check, but just a perception check.
Okay. 23.
23. Yeah, she definitely tried to manipulate her last die roll, but it still came out as a 5, so it's a tie.
I'm going to raise another 20.
All right, raising on the last die. What that means is that you are basically challenging her to a re-roll because with the die out, let's see, right now it's a tie. She took the first round, you took the second, and it's a tie on the third. Okay, so you can re-roll that.
So I hear though that you're trying to find 6. That you're trying to find a bit that one of your debts has gone missing, though. A rather steep gambler of a specific family.
You just described several of the people who owe me money. You take the first round, that is 50 gold to you. There are a number of people who lose money in here, and some of them do believe that if they run far enough, then they will not owe me that money anymore.
Well, this one was particularly one who is a bit of a runner. Father is one of the local trade merchants.
Again, that is a great number of my clients.
By the name of Jordan.
Yes.
For this next
young
Mr.
hand, I'm
Jordan
he is very much taking a liking to some of our hostesses, and he does try to impress them. Next game up, for this 10 gold.
I'm going to put down 30.
30. Okay. She will happily match that. Roll your first die.
Shit, I got a 1.
She got a 4. She is going to double the bet to 60. And you can fold any hand you don't believe you're going to win.
You know what? I'll go another. I'll go another 20 on top of that. So the pot should be at 80 now.
Okay.
Now I think that the son has managed to get himself in a bit of an issue. 3
6.
in the shit.
Yeah, she's going to raise that to 100 gold.
You know what? I'm going to raise it to 120. So I'll add in
Okay.
another 20.
All right, 120.
I do believe that the son has managed to get himself into a bit of trouble in the sapphire mines. And I think it would be unfair of the father to be the one left with the debt. If I can get him out.
If you wish to pay off young Master Jordan's debts, that's fine by me. I don't care who pays me my money. It can come from a third party, or he can admit his failings and hand over his portion of the business.
5. I rolled a 5 on the D8.
Okay. And she rolled a 3. But she took the first 2 hands. So
hell.
it was a 4 and a 6.
Yep.
So are you
yeah,
here
she'll
to
take
pay
the
off his
pot.
debt? Because right now you're just losing money to me. That doesn't count.
No, I'm not here to pay off his debt. I'm here to get him to pay it off. I'm just trying to find where he's gone.
Well, it
I'm a bit
sounds
of
like to me
a
like you've already said he went to the sapphire mines. Many
well,
people
there
die
might
down
be
there.
there might be a bit more information that you yourself might have that I'm trying to just follow up on the last lead that I've got outside of that. So if there was anything that your guards actually said in regards to where he's gone, that would be something for me to follow up on.
I hold his marker. I don't bother to have guards tail him. That would be a waste of resources.
I put down 20 gold.
Okay. New hand up. She rolled a 2.
I rolled a 3.
Now she's a bit more involved in the conversation. She's not just instantly raising you. So again, I don't really see what your problem is my problem. I don't know where he is because I already hold something in collateral. And that something will either force his father to pay me or to begin to sell off his business in order to pay me. Or he can just take the reputation hit that his family does not pay their outstanding debts.
I rolled a 3 on the 6. I'm going to make an insight check on her just to sort of see if that is truthful.
Okay.
Because if she does hold something on from the son that can be damaging to the family,
and she rolled a 6. But again, now she's kind of in this conversation, so she's not raising.
And I have got a insight 11.
11.
Rolled a 3. Yeah, I rolled a 3.
She does seem like she's not hiding anything. In fact, she's almost proud of the fact that, she has this card to hold over him. Now, from a legal standing, it's not something that she could bring to a court from what you're gathering. But like I said, this would be damaging to the family reputation, and that's enough for her. But she also doesn't seem like she cares about one single person. Like, this is just one person that owes her money.
I'm trying to work on the family to get a further in. The son kind of plays into that. I put down another 20 on the table.
Okay. You've got her attention now, so she'll throw in that money. And she says, "And what exactly is your interest in this matter?"
My interest is actually trying to get in on the business.
To what end?
To be able to use it to get some
You're off camera also. You
goods.
need to move to the
All right.
side. There
To
you
be
go.
able to get rolled a 3 on the D8, by the way, to be able to get in on some goods and that I desperately need, but to get them through legal means. Well, at least be able to transport them through legal means. Doing that through this family, given their current situation, is the best thing to be able to be done. I figure if I do that, get the son back over to you. That way you don't have to use the leverage against the family. It puts me more in their good graces. I can then use my in on them to help you expand your business out beyond here, just here and into other areas.
Make a persuasion check.
Nat 20 with a
So,
6 modifier on that. Oh my
so
god.
for one thing, her last roll was a 1. She loses his hand, but she just slides the money over to you and says, "So you would be looking to set up a second business proposition, is what you're saying? You get in with the Jordan Trade Consortium, and then you and I have our own arrangement."
Yes. Allows for multiple businesses to work in tandem, builds a better understanding and better working relationship for everyone, makes everyone rich.
I have no problem with this, but I still don't see how I'm able to assist you. Do you have some way to track Terrence?
I need to know what he looks like. That way, when I'm able to see him, I can then make a mental connection to him and be able to discern that it is him if he is alive and be able to bring him back.
Someone can easily show you a picture.
Well, yes, but I figured coming to yourself first because you are the one in which he is indebted to would be me asking for your permission to be able to follow through on this. After all, his life is yours until the debt is repaid. And even then, if it's not repaid, it's still yours. So I'm technically handling your property.
Give me a persuasion check at advantage this time.
Oh, thank God it's an advantage. That would be a 20. Not
20.
not 20, a 10. 10, sorry, 10. Because I rolled a 4, it's a +6. The other one
Okay.
was a 1, though. The other one was a 1.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So with that, she just sort of leans back like she's thinking about it. It's like, well, the way I see it, as someone, I have nothing to lose in this situation. Either I will receive the money that is owed to me, or I will be able to leverage the loss of reputation that the consortium will face into new business opportunities for me. You being able to prove yourself an actual asset to me, I have no problem with this. But at the same time, I see no reason to make your job. I see no reason to do your job for you. If you wish to bring him to me, then you will be rewarded. If you bring him to his father, I'm sure you will still be rewarded. I can't very well make a claim over someone I don't hold in the palm of my hand.
No, but it is always best for one to ask permission, especially when the potential of these things not working
Someone
very
can bring you a
well
sketch of
is.
him.
Thank you.
I will also take this moment to remind you that you have psychic powers. You could probably do better than a sketch if you wanted.
Mhm. Oh God, can I kind of want to, but at the same time, that would be just a huge invasion of privacy on her.
I mean,
Um,
you could ask or you could try.
this may seem a bit intimate. But can I draw the image from your mind?
Make another persuasion check. I am keeping that natural 20 from earlier as a consideration.
Um, that would be a 15.
15.
Mhm.
How delicate are you with your gifts?
Very like when I need to get something and I don't want to be known, I need to tread very, very carefully because you never know if somebody's going to be able to feel it or if you might accidentally tread on a memory that might be bad for them when you're trying to sort through things. So it's just like one of those things where you just go through gently.
She smiles like, I think this is a much more interesting game. If you can take that information without me realizing it, then you will have proven yourself a much more interesting individual than if I just gave it to you. But if I feel that you're treading onto something that I want private, I'll have you killed here and now. What do you say? How good are you?
I just slide out 20 gold coins onto the table.
The table boss kind of looks at the gold and says, "The lady has already set the stakes." Her smile is just getting a bit more wide at this. She's got a death game on her hands and she's loving it.
Let's up the ante and play this game while we're doing the same thing. So I am effectively saying to her, I will do this and we'll play this game at the same time.
Okay. So the bet is 20, and you're going to play this game while trying to read her mind.
Yep.
Okay. 20 gold is the bet. You get to try to pull information out of her mind each round. It will take a different roll each time. Her first roll was a 4. She's going to double the bet to 40.
All right. Well, my first roll is a 3. I am going to do the same, so that will bring it up to 60.
Okay. And now you need to try to pull information out of her head. I think this would be an intelligence save for her, but if you have something Like if your psychic abilities have tell me
It's
what
it,
the DC is.
it's there isn't really a DC. It's used more for communication.
Mm-hmm.
So thoughts and impressions at the top of our mind, I could use something like investigation or insight to try and grab, especially since the most conversation that I've been bringing up is the sun,
Mm-hmm.
so that I could just go off of the surface thoughts. But if I'm trying to also figure out where else he's gone, that's probably going to be a bit deeper. So it might be an investigation. So it would be an investigation for me versus something like a sleight of hand from her side to try and hide it.
I
So
think since this is sort of like mind versus mind, intelligence is the best one to go for.
yeah,
And we'll use a contested roll each time.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that is a 10. I can use my psychic die potentially if you want me to roll that, which would give me an extra um
I'll let you do it because you haven't
features.
been burning any resources this game.
All right, what do I get? Evasion, psychic
So I'll
die.
let
Where is
you,
it?
every time you want to use a psychic die for these rolls, I'll let you include that.
Oh God, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? It's a D6 or something. Psychic Whisper, Psychic Blades. Um, damn it, where is it? Eight. Okay, so 1d8. Oh God, yay! It's a 1d8. Oh, thank God. So that ups it to 12.
Okay.
So I rolled a 2 on the d8.
Okay. Uh, I'm going to say with that, you have just like the vaguest impression of what he looked like. And I mean, like if you were to see him in a crowd somewhere. The next die roll is up, and she got a 3.
I got
She
a
is
2.
she is going to up your bet to a total of 100 gold.
I will call her at that.
Okay. And you can make a second roll.
So I'm going to burn another psychic die.
Okay.
All of the dice were ones, and my modifier for my intelligence is a 1.
So you got a 3.
Yeah, I got 3.
You actually feel her pull out some memory of yours instead. What memory was it? And if it helps, she got a 24. So she knows something important about you.
She knows that I am the one who broke into the iron prison and that I'm the one who managed to get somebody out of it. That it is directly me. And yeah, all the things around that entire caper,
Okay.
which are on another episode of ours.
Yes, I remember you breaking into wrought iron, and you feel those memories flash as you attempt to prod her mind, only for her to pull all that information back. And the final dice roll, sir.
I'm going to lay down another 20.
Okay. And so the bet is 120, or the pot is 120. And you can make your final mental check.
So the D8 is a 3. That freaking dice landed cattywampus against my freaking tower. Come on, come on. You're kidding me. 19.
19.
And I'm going to toss in a psychic dice.
Okay.
So my standard dice for the actual game going on between us, I've rolled a 3, but this one, the psychic dice, is a 7. So 27.
27. Okay. This was actually her lowest roll. So you definitely beat her 15. I'm trying to think. All right. So you see, you get a very clear picture of Terrence as he was when he was begging for one more chance to pay off all of his debts. Only as you're seeing the scene from her point of view, there is a mirror in the background that you're able to see. The reflection is indistinct, like you can't tell what it is, but this isn't a gnome you're talking to. At least not in her mind, she's not a gnome. But that's all you can really gather at the moment. But you did so with well enough that she doesn't realize you pulled this extra secret along with a very clear impression of Terrence and how utterly terrified he is to owe her money.
What does she see herself as in her own mind?
You couldn't make that out. Like I said, the reflection in the mirror was distorted because that wasn't like you did good, but you didn't pull out an exact image of what she saw. But I will say it was very tall. The black feathered cloak seems to be billowing behind her, but you can't. It's like looking at I'm trying to
It's
think
like
of
looking at whispers. It's like looking at whispers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the glass is frosted or something, so you're not getting a proper reflection. This was a piece of information she was attempting to shield. And what was your last die roll for the game?
Was a 3.
Okay. She will take the final pot. But you you definitely know you're not speaking to just some average gnome right now. Do with that what you will.
So, can I check your office real fast?
Check what?
Can I check your office real fast?
For what?
I'll be able to say once I'm there. I've got a very faint impression of something.
You have yet to prove yourself to be more than a aspiring bounty hunter. I have no intention of letting you through my records.
It's not your records that I want to see.
Then there's nothing in my office for you. Bring me Terrence. Prove to me that you have value.
That feather boa was quite nice. Or was it a jacket or a cape?
I'm trying to give me an insight roll because I need to know how to define the look that just passed through her eyes.
That is going to be a 14.
A 14. Somewhere between that moment when you lose the game, you thought you had the high card, only the other person flips over the fourth ace. That was the look that went through her eye for a split second, but then it is quickly replaced by a certain amount of admiration. Like, finally, someone who's a real competitor. She just smiles and says, "You have only proven that you have some skill. You have definitely not earned the right to my secrets yet, but keep trying." And she will stand up, give you a respectful nod, flourishes her feathery cloak as she walks away.
Like that actually just suddenly appears on her shoulders as she's walking
No,
away.
she's been wearing it the
Or
whole time. I said she was wearing a dark cloak.
oh. I'm just gonna chuckle. I'm I'm going I'm going to toss a gold coin to the table keeper.
He's able to like do that flourishing thing that poker dealers are able to do, where it vanishes in his hand. But you do of course get like the thank you sir, flips the coin and it's gone.
I'm going to head towards the privy. And oh God, because I need to know, because I've been wearing the false Hydra hide armor. Did we ever rule that does give me the advantage on stealth?
Yes, it gives you advantage on stealth. And basically, like anytime you're able to hide, you have and you re-roll. So yes. Whereas, for example, if a normal person hides, they get to roll stealth, they get to try again. In your case, there is a chance they will actually forget that they were looking in your direction. So yes, you do get advantage. But you're also in a crowded room, so it still helps, but you have to you just need to make sure that you don't do anything to draw attention to yourself once you use it. Now I know that should
I'm
be
going.
easy, but this is you we're talking about. You are a walking billboard.
Mhm. I'm going to go into the privy. I'm going to look around. Is there a quote unquote kind of, how at really fancy places they've got that guy that does
Yeah, there's an
the
attendant in
entire
some of
thing.
them.
Hmm.
Um, we're gonna say that like the attendant is like in uh a separate space. So like yes, there is somebody there who can like cast prestidigitation and like clean you, give you like a fresh scent type of thing. But there's definitely a room for with privacy. Like
I'm going to hand the man a silver piece. And I'm going to say to him, clean me up, but I don't want anything fresh scent. I don't want any sort of scent or anything at all.
and he just nods and waves a hand and the little bit of dust or whatever might have collected just you are now cleaned up. But no,
And
he did not give you any perfume scents.
and and do I have any sort of scent to me at all? Is my question.
I mean, no, I mean, like a
I'm,
dog would still smell you but you have no obvious odors. Like
okay, no,
you
that's
you
good.
still smell like a human.
I am going to go into the privy, and I'm going to check and see if there's any sort of like not a pipe that goes from the privy out into the sewer. I'm going to try and see if there's like any sort of air ventilation to the room that I can get into, like to make sure that sewer gas doesn't build up so that it explodes. Because
There would be a vent. Let me just make a random roll to decide how large that vent is. It's going to be too small for you. It's got like it looks really nice, but there is a grading system in place and it looks like it's too small for someone of your stature. You'd have to be even a kobold would have trouble squeezing into this one.
All right. Well, I'm in a private area. I'm going to see if I can make myself disappear.
Okay.
So that. All right. So an 18.
18.
Yeah.
The attendant only knows that somebody left, but he was never really paying attention to anybody anyway. You know, it was part of his job not to see faces. But for the moment, nobody is like, for example, like a waitress is walking by and she just swerve around you, but she makes no mention of the fact that she almost walked into you.
All right. I'm going to filter myself through the crowds and try and get into a more private, restricted area.
Okay. I'm going to roll for some of the guards who would be there. And what is your proficiency modifier at this time?
I have expertise in stealth, so my proficiency modifier is doubled for it, and I've got a +4 from dexterity. So my
No,
actual
I just mean
modifier.
like what is the proficiency? I'm trying to pick up like I'm trying to estimate what an NPC will have based
Okay, so
on.
I've got my proficiency bonus at the current time is a +4.
Okay.
So yeah, so because I've got expertise in stealth, and then my dexterity is
Yeah.
freaking 4 as well, so it's like a 12 that I roll.
That
That I add
that's
on.
fine. I just didn't want to have to do a search for an NPC just to find a proficiency modifier to roll with this. Because there was a 16 on the die, and I think a +2 is a fair proficiency for the guards to have. So you can just like you're making your way to it. Most people are just looking past you, but you do see that there's a couple of half-orc guards who, as you start to get closer, they are looking at you. But they're not suspicious. You just realize, oh, they took notice of me heading in their direction.
I'm going to use thieves can't hand signals to lie and say that I've come to collect on a kill.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
Would that be a deception check though, because of the fact that I'm lying?
Yes, it would.
Yeah. 15.
15.
Yep.
One of them just gives you a very slight nod.
And the other one, does he seem like as if he's held on?
Yeah, you got the nod from one. Neither one is lifting a weapon or making any move at you.
All right. So I'm going to slide on through into the back area.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure that I haven't been followed.
No, the two guards are still just standing there. They assume that you know the procedure from the way you've entered. Or they just assume that if you're lying, the person you're going to run into will deal with you.
Yep. All right. I'm going to try and find her office. That way I can get in, or I'm going to sit. But no, I'm going to look for any sort of hidden doors that would lead to a further back area.
I think you said your perception was better than your investigation. So go ahead
No,
and go.
my investigation My
Okay.
investigation is better than anything else. My
Okay.
investigation is is a
Because
+9.
I
My
do
stealth is
believe investigation is a little bit better for finding a secret door because you're trying to find that little thing
yeah.
that's off.
So that is a 16. I still have 4 psychic dice, but I don't think it actually can help with this.
I
Can
could see a way that we could make your psychic work because, like I said, right now it's kind of in a heightened state anyway. So if you want to expend another psychic die to look for resonance, I guess
Yeah,
would be the best way to say it.
I got a 6. Oh God.
What does that make the
Oh,
total?
that makes the total a. Oh God. What did I say that it was
I
before?
think you said 16 before.
Okay, so that makes it a 22.
Okay. So you're having trouble and you open up your senses and you do feel an echo coming from behind a wall, and you start to check and you find a small switch. You hear the click and the door barely just slides open. You can push it through and get in there.
I will close it immediately behind me as well.
Okay.
And
I think this would be a good time to re-roll your stealth.
yeah. Oh, thank God. So first roll is an 8, so that's a 20. Second roll is a 3, so that would make it a 15, so 20.
So a 20. Okay. All right. So you're standing there in the dark. You're taking a moment, to let uh to make sure that you're not making any sounds. What do you want to do from here?
I'm going to put on the blindfold of blind sight.
Okay.
So that gives me
It's been a while. Remind me what that does.
blind sight for 20 feet.
Okay.
So I'm going to put that on. I'm going to whisper the word of power so that it works. And then I'm going to start making my way along very silently, like just like as if I am but a shadow among shadows.
Okay. Uh
And
so you come into a very sparse office. There is you can sense the desk. There's a few shelves with things on them, and that's all I'm going to say at the moment.
I'm going to very carefully listen for any sort of breathing.
All right, give me a perception check.
Oh, thank God. I got a 14 on the die. My perception is +4, so that's 18.
Okay. You hear the scurry of some rodents. And with your psychic abilities being enhanced, you actually like feel the faint echo of their intelligence. But that seems to be the only thing in the area.
I am going to search the room very carefully
Okay. With
for
the blindfold on or off.
with the blindfold on at the moment. That
Um,
way,
because the thing is, with the blindfold on, you know the shape of things, but you don't know what they are.
all right, I'll take it off then.
Okay. So you're in a stone room. There are some sigils that have been clearly carved into the walls. They have a faint glow to them, but it is steady. So you feel like if it was a trap, it would have already incinerated you.
Mhm.
So this was clearly not meant to, these are apparently aren't trap wards. There is a book on the desk. It is written in a language I don't think you understand. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Thieves' Cant.
Okay, then you do not recognize these words.
All right. I am going to very quickly make a copy of the words on the book,
Okay.
um, and just get those copied down, and then um, I'm going to check the words with Arcana to double check what kind of glyphs those are.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
That is a 10.
A 10, you have
Yeah.
no clue. They're pretty powerful, you imagine, but you don't know what they are.
Yeah, so they could be either wards of incineration, or they could be just as easily something that tells her that somebody's managed to break in. Is there a mirror in here?
Yes, there is.
Is it similar to the one that I saw in the vision?
No, this one actually is a little bit more elaborate than that one.
I'm going to check the room over to see if there's any marks on the ground for something heavy, for something heavy like that mirror that I saw being moved through. Because it was it like a big mirror that I saw that was a full length, or was it something that was
It
small?
wasn't it wasn't a very it was the sort of it was a full-length mirror. It was nice, but it wasn't like it was just a regular mirror from anything you would have to base anything on. Um, like this small mirror seems to have more ostentation than the one that was put in a place where she would see people. And you like the room that she was seeing Terrence in, it was a proper, like speaking room that isn't made to make this gnomish woman have all the power. Like she had a raised spot to sit and look down on people. This room is the exact opposite, with the exception of a couple of there's like some stones, there's a crystal on the shelves, and then this mirror is just from looking at it and your experience as a thief, this mirror is probably worth more than anything in the room you saw.
Is the room built to gnomish dimensions?
No, it is built for someone of your height, and actually, so 5 to 6 foot. The chair, the desk, all of that is set for a taller person. Which, good catch. I didn't think about describing that.
I'm going to check the floor. I'm going to see if anything's been moved around recently.
It's
Or
it's a fairly plain stone floor. Nothing. There's no real. There's no scratch marks at all. Actually, it's not quite polished, but it is very smooth. It's very clean.
this is very odd to have. Are there any other books here?
Uh, yes, there are some. Most of them are in the same language as the what you've already seen. It's a very small collection. There's a couple that are handwritten journals actually, and uh, let me try to find my notes because I didn't expect you to meet this particular character so soon. So one of the books is it is written in Elvish. It is a journal. And if you want to like stop and really go through it real quick, the quick glance is this appears to be a journal from an adventurer. So this is somebody who is keeping notes of their travels.
I'm going to look at the first page to see if the name of the actual person was mentioned on that, and then if that is there, I'm going to then check the last page that was written
Okay.
on.
Yes, the first one would be. Oh man, like I said, I didn't have my notes for this one on hand. This is the journal of trying to think of a good elven name. Isadora uh Miss Darrow. That's a good elven name. Let me write that. Isadora Mistero. And so yes, the first page is her talking about she's getting ready to start off on a new adventure, and she's going to use this to keep notes on some of the things that she sees. The last page is I'm going to say it's a fairly chilling encounter. It starts off with, whoever finds this, please heed these warnings type of opening. She goes on to describe how her party was in the ruins, like some old mines, and they started off just like clearing out some spiders, but then pretty soon they started seeing like these more and more rats in the area, which seems to be the exact opposite of what you would find with giant spiders around. And then it breaks down even more about how they were running and now they are trapped beyond the like the mines collapsed, they got lost, and she doesn't know she'll ever see the light of day again. And that's the last thing she talks about.
I go a few pages further back. I'm trying to look for who she was traveling with, the names of who she was, who were a part of her adventuring party.
Based on the date, this journal is probably about 20 years old. From the last time any dates were written down. She has the names of like her party members, but just flipping through, that's sort of out of context. But it just says that they came to the village, the city, this city of Deep Mills, and they had taken up, because there's apparently always been a spider problem. So it was like, oh, we're just going to make some quick money by killing some spiders, collecting some venom because she could turn it into stuff. It was just supposed to be a very simple, well below their skill level type of job.
I'm going to look over the mirror. That ornateness to it, is there a specific cultural sort of
You can make another Arcana check if you want, or history check would probably be.
Yeah, I'll do a history check.
Okay.
23.
23. There's no specific cultural relevance, but with a 23, you kind of recognize that this is a communication mirror, which means that it has been linked to a set number of other mirrors so that people can speak to each other. Nobility uses this, especially like during a war campaign when they need to have faster communication and a sending stone is a little bit too limited.
Oh
And
shit, is it currently active? I'm going to check now to see if it's currently active in broadcasting.
No, you do know a couple of things about this from that role. First off, if you can see your reflection, and you can, then that means it is functioning as a mirror. If nobody can remotely activate it, they can send. It's kind of like a phone call. They can send that they are ready to speak, but it has to be activated from your side. And another thing you know about these mirrors is that they are usually you have to go to a Magerite to link them together. Like sending stones are typically made in pairs. These are made and then somebody can magically connect them. They're very expensive, but like I said, when you need to, for example, you need to speak to your business manager, or you need to speak to a noble lord that's that's very far away, and you don't want to risk diluting your message with a mage who's going to send the spell on your behalf. So they're very expensive to make.
I'm going to pocket Isadora's journal.
Okay.
Are there any other doors out of this room? Or
No,
is it
just the
just the one
one.
coming in?
Yeah.
I'm going to check for any sort of hidden doors.
Okay. Make another investigation check.
Yay, 24.
24. You're searching around and you find a false bottom on the desk, and there is this one is a grimoire. You have enough knowledge of magic that you recognize that this is a book of complex rituals, but it is not written in a language you understand.
I'm going to take that as well.
Okay.
I'm going to exit the room very carefully after replacing the false bottom back into position. Dusting away. I'm going to make sure that any footprints that I've left on the ground as well are carefully cleared away. I'm going to just leave from this room,
Okay.
and I'm now going to look for the dear lady's office.
Okay. Your rolls have been good enough that yes, you find just like a couple of doors down. It is like next to the secret room, but with about 5 feet of stone in between it. So like a thick stone wall separates her from the secret path. But you can find the official office that has been set up for a gnome.
I'm going to walk in and I'm going to check how this office looks against the memory.
This is the speaking room where this is where when somebody needs to have a delicate discussion or grovel for their life, this is where she would see them. At the same time, it's set up, like I said, it gives her she'd be setting up higher than them, not so high that it'd be disrespectful, but high enough that if someone were to come to her and want to speak as a business partner, she could still meet them here and it would not be seen as a threat or a disrespectful thing. But if at the same time, as you notice, the grovelers feel very, very small compared to this demure woman. It is built for class and to show off her wealth and her power. Ornate weapons line the walls.
I'm going to look for the mirror that I saw in that vision, in that memory.
Yep, you can find the mirror. It's is against the far wall. There's like the changing screen. I don't know exactly what they're called, but like where she could step behind and she could change out her clothing for the evening, step back, check her looks, and go on. So it's in the far back corner.
All right. Now I'm going to try and work this out. I'm going to try and recreate where our dear little butthead who managed to get himself deeply in gambling debts was groveling in relation to where she was on the throne. And then I'm going to start. All right. And then once I've got that pinned as a position, I'm going to start looking around for any sort of hidden doorways that she would have had him carted off through.
No, this seems to be a very this is a legit office space, so there's nothing secret here. I'm going to say that have you spent much time in a gambling house?
Oh yeah, not me personally, but this character. Yeah,
your character. Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
because obviously this gambling house isn't like most casinos. Maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't been to a high end casino where I'm in the high roller suite because I am not a high roller.
I
I'm not a
can
whale by any standard.
No, I'm not allowed into most casinos because I can innately count cards. So
Well,
I'm
go
just
yeah,
like
go ahead and admit that on stream.
like
But
as if I'm
no,
going to gamble because of it, though. That's
but
like
here's the thing, though. Um, you Joseph knows that when somebody has been taking out loans against the place, if you're in debt far enough, it is not uncommon for those orc guards to escort someone into the back room to discuss their debt. So this guy publicly walking through that door, that's just a part of you being your shame of being caught or you're owing a debt. They don't care about your reputation. It's sort of assumed that the nobles will, I mean, nobles are going to gossip no matter what, but if you say, "Oh, I saw Terrence getting drug away because he lost all of his money again," it's an open secret. You're saying you're there, so you only say it to the people who don't mind you gambling. But to say, "Yep, Terrence got drugged back there. They roughed him up a little bit. He came staggering out." The guards aren't going to do anything because he was there losing money. So there's there is no there is no saving the pride of these people. You either walk in and out of your own power, showing that you were there as a welcome guest, or you get escorted by someone who could break your spine, and people know you're not there willingly.
oh crap. I just had an idea. I'm going to look for her. I'm going to look for any sort of journal in here. Because this is her quote unquote office as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's got
Yes.
to have something in here. This isn't so I'm going to look over the journals. Are they written in the same are they written in the same language that I saw back in that secret room?
No, any notes you see here are written in a different language. You
Is it
assume
common?
Gnomish.
Hmm.
But there is also like there's her desk and then there's a smaller desk off to the side. You assume that, well, I mean, a less important desk. It is definitely a more human stature, but it is a less important desk. You assume that's where like a secretary would take notes or an accountant would work.
I'm going to look over that desk.
Right. That desk, it has, like inkwells and scrap paper, but it does not look like they leave any notes open on this space. But
Is
you
there
can,
any sort of handwriting? Is there any sort of handwriting on the scrap paper? And what language is that writing in?
uh, if you were to take out the stack of paper, uh, you kind of see the impression where someone was writing on top of it, type of thing. Like they were making notes on top of the paper.
I'm going to
But
take a I'm going to take a bit of charcoal and I'm going to make a very light rubbing across to see what that was
okay.
writing.
This is it is mostly numbers. It is apparently more of an accounting ledger, and it is probably coded. You do see words, but again, the words don't correspond to they were written in common letters, but it's clearly a coded message.
I'm going to look around for a cipher.
You don't see anything. They probably, remember not
Memorize
to
it.
leave the secret cipher out in the open.
I'm going to check for hidden compartments anywhere. Just I'm going to look over, try and find this. There's got to because you've always got that one person who keeps their stupid password somewhere that they think is hidden, and kind of probably would be to the casual observer, but it's there because they're always going to forget something, and it's there just in case. I'm trying
As
to look for
brilliant as your idea is, and trust me, from the IT perspective, I do love it.
that.
I've had to study that level of security. This is you based on the way the desk is set up, it is a utilitarian. They probably only call these people in when they need to, they need to ask them something. The accountant's office is not here. This is their workspace when the boss needs them in the room. But then they can leave before they see anything that would incriminate them too much. So
There
you
has to.
probably want to look for the accounting office.
I was going to. I was going to start doing that.
I thought you were. So you basically go to the other side of the hall. Make a perception check before you go through the other door.
12.
What?
12. I
12?
roll. I roll. Yep.
Okay. Uh, Good thing for you, the accountants aren't really hiding. They're just like they're in their room. They're like if you just listen at the door, you can hear the sounds of things happening behind this door.
I am going to take off my facial scarf. I'm going to tie it around like a very minimalistic curve. I'm just going to completely take it off. I'm going to tie it around like a tie, and I'm going to pull my swords back and pull them down so that they're more in a casual sort of way that normal people would hold them. Hi.
I put the list that, with the stuff in the caravan on the table.
Okay, thank you. So that more like normal people would have them around while they were traveling
Mhm.
to and from places, and then we're just going to walk in, and I'm going to just keep myself very minimal, very small, like as if I'm a new person who is just trying to find their way through things, like this is my new job and I don't want to screw up. And
Okay. I'm going to make sure I understand this correctly. Your idea is to walk into the accounting office where you can hear them working, and you're just going to try to pretend you belong there.
I don't have a clipboard, but I do have a tie.
Okay. Yep. That is something you can try to do. Make I guess this would be a deception check because you're not hiding yourself. You're just trying to pass yourself off as someone else.
28.
28. So you walk in, there's 3 people sitting there. Two are counting piles of coins, and another one is like writing things down as they put everything into pouches. So one's keeping the records, the other 2 are counting. All 3 of them look at you as you walk through the door.
I'm supposed to be the new person for the double bookkeeping for the outgoings.
They all look at each other in confusion. There's not supposed to be a new person. Who sent you?
The big British orc from upstairs. I had an interview about 2 months back. I didn't really hear anything back from it until like yesterday, and I was told to show up here.
I'm doing a roll for each of them. Hold on a sec. So yeah, they're all kind of looking at each other quizzitively. One of them says, Skrek sent you down here?
Sense is one thing, more like grabbed me and said I'm late and threw me through the door.
One of them's kind of got like a, yeah, okay. The other 2 sort of look at each other a little bit more significantly. And one starts to like move the bags of money into a container. And the one with the who was keeping the record says, "Ah, I see. Well, Well, why don't you have a set over there, and as soon as a seat over there, and as soon as we finish up what we're doing, we'll begin your orientation.
Oh, okay. I just very calmly sit down in the corner, not really looking at them, just kind of like doing mental arithmetic continuously, like as if I'm practicing doing double bookkeeping is a type of accounting. So when you've got an outgoing book, it's used to make sure that you can count everything up between the outgoing the ledgers and the
Mhm.
master. So it makes sure that you know where everything is going and where it's all been put through. So yay for actually having done accounting in my real life.
Yep. And normally it would help out really well because you were able to you were able to use the right words when you came in. So like I said, the two with the money are sort of securing everything. The other one takes out a sending stone and whispers into it. And
Shit.
then he just looks up. It's like, it'll be just a couple of minutes. We're going to make sure you get all your starting paperwork so that way you can jump right in.
I just look at them and go, so how long do I have before they both come crashing through?
Uh, how do you ask that question?
I just very, very, very quiet, like still keeping the demeanor of being
Uh,
the shitty little new person that's come through and is just like, I'm just trying to do a job.
yeah.
Like, so how long before the two orcs come crashing through?
I would say about 30 seconds, but if you start causing a ruckus, they'll run. That was not said as a threat. That's like, if you start killing us, we'll scream and they'll be here sooner.
I'm just looking for the cipher. That's it. I was supposed to just have the cipher, figure be taught, and then I could start doing the double bookkeeping. I'm gonna end up being gutted and left in the fucking alleyway because I fucked up on my first day.
And the one who has talked to you, like I said, the others, they've secured all their money. They're locking up the lock boxes. He's pulling when you say the cipher, he's kind of pulling a book a little bit closer to, and he looks at you and says, "There is no Scrag." And
Figured
you
that.
can hear the footsteps coming down the hall right now. He got a nat 20 on his insight to figure out you were lying.
Damn. So you've got the cipher. Two orcs are coming through. How about I just knock you out? That way you can actually say that you did at least put up some attempt to fight and you can probably get a bonus out of it.
I want you to make a persuasion roll again.
Holy crap. That is an 18.
18. He looks at his other two counterparts and they all nod in agreement before they scream, "He's in here, hurry!" And they dive at you.
At which point these guys do these guys look like as if they've got some fighting training, or do they just look like your bog standard accountants?
They are bog standard accountants. You're going to take that. What they've come to realize is that, one, if you're going to hurt them anyway, they might as well go down swinging. And two, they'll get a better bonus if they can hold you long enough for the actual guards to come in and do something.
All
so
right.
Roll initiative.
Okay. So that is 11.
11. Okay, so two of them are going to have rolled slightly better than you. So two people are going to attempt to grapple you. So just give me Let's call this a strength save or a dex save at disadvantage for the two of them.
A dex save. Okay. So that is for the first one, it is a 20 because I rolled a 12 on the disadvantage and my dex save is 8 plus 8. And then the second one is a 15. So I rolled
Okay.
7 on the die and got an 8. So both at disadvantage. It's a, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So with that, you are still able to dodge around. These guys are not very strong. They are not coordinated at all. So you were able to dodge around these two. The other one is like in the corner. Didn't get these two were faster than her. So she's just standing in the far corner. She hasn't done anything yet. It's your turn. What do you want to do?
She's the one with the cipher, right?
It's more like the other guy went with the cipher. She is standing near it, though. If you try to make a jump at it, she will try to save it from you. So you can run out the door now, or you can challenge her for the book.
I'm going to challenge her for the book.
Okay. Make a dex check against her.
Is it a dex or a sleight of hand?
This would be dex because you're not trying to be sneaky. You're being very obvious about this. So no
Okay.
sleight of hand.
I'm going to burn a psychic die.
How is the psychic die helping you here?
It's pretty much it's pretty much like my hand is being aided by my psychic powers.
Okay.
So it's like
I wasn't
it's sort
sure
of
if
like
this was something that would actually aid your abilities at any time, or if this was the homebrew we were doing earlier.
No, it's something that can actually aid my abilities at any
Okay,
time.
just wanted to be sure.
Yeah. So that is going to be a 10.
A 10 all in all?
Yep.
Okay. She is actually just a little bit faster than you, and she grabs it. She does seem to stagger a little bit as your mental abilities are trying to hold her back, but she grabs it and she just screams, "Hurry!" And that's when the two orcs bust down the door. And we're going to bring in their initiative. They will get to act at the start of the next round. So,
All right.
The accountants are now out of the equation. They aren't going to be a problem, but you do have two orc guards standing in front of you. And the first one is going to lunge at you. Ooh, and he's actually going to get a hit. Let me roll both of his attacks real quick. What is your AC?
17.
Okay. He's going to hit you 2 times for 4 points of piercing and 5 points of piercing, 9 in total.
All right.
And it is now your turn.
All right. I'm going to feign being winded from that hit, like making it look like as if I'm going to like as if I'm just weaker than I appear to be, and that hit just kind of brought like as if that hit just brought me down. And as I'm kind of doing the fake, I'm going to try and just boost the book out of that away from that that what's her face, the accountant over there.
Okay, so instead of dealing with the guards, you're going to go for the book one more time.
Yeah.
Would you like to make this roll with emphasis?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first
I'm going to say that this time, because you're not trying to move faster than her, you're trying to overpower her. It is going to be a strength check, but she is not a strong person. So you still have, you should be confident in this ability.
Okay, so the first one is a nat 20.
This could really go well for you.
The second one is a 2.
Wow.
So I get the
Okay.
I get the nat 20.
Yes, you do. You tell me, how do you take this book from her?
It's just pretty much like I'm just looking between the guards, between her, between the guards, between her, and I just take the fucking book and just not like as if I'm just stealing, like as if I'm just stealing candy from a baby, just like gimme, and then I dash.
All right. If you don't mind, I'll add something to this. To help facilitate your escape, you can throw her at the guards.
You know, she might actually get a bonus for that because she's taken harm, and yeah, she at least did try to stop me from this. So I will throw her at the guards.
Okay. So yeah, you with one hand you yank the journal away, the other you grab her wrist and you just like spin her, like a dancer would spin their dance partner. So I imagine you're not trying to hurt her. You're just trying to cause that extra distraction, and she will collide with the guards. They will each have disadvantage on their next turn. It is still your turn. If you want to try to run past them all, you can do so right now. They will get an attack of opportunity, but like I said, it will be a disadvantage.
I will make my movement, my full movement, and I'm going to use my bonus action to dash if at all possible.
Yes, you can. Let me do their attacks at disadvantage. Okay. No, you know what? He got a nat 1, so that's definitely. Neither guard is able to get their blades free. Like one of them, he hadn't even gotten out of the scabbard before he's trying to catch this accountant who is just screaming in fear. You run past them. You are booking it down the hallway. With your full movement, you're able to get to that door and go through it before you even see them come back out of the room.
I'm not going out the door that leads to the main area. I'm going to head for that secret door.
Okay.
And hide in there.
I'll tell you what, make a deception check for me right quick.
26.
26. You actually do all the things to make it sound like you ran through that front door. I imagine you had the time, you snuck over there, you rattle it a little bit, leave it slightly open, but then you run through the secret door and you quietly close it behind you. A couple seconds later, you hear the sound of running feet as they burst through the door, and you hear the commotion as they are running through the main lobby now. Lots of people are going to be aware of things, but they didn't see you go running out. And a couple of seconds later, you hear kind of the frenzied voices of the accountants as they're not sure where they should go at this moment. But a few seconds later, it seems like somebody comes in and collects them and they leave.
I'm going to hide underneath the bed.
You're in the secret room. There was only a desk and a mirror.
Oh, there's only a desk?
Yeah, sorry, I never said there was a bed.
No. I'm going to wait until everything quiets down, and then I'm going to exit, and then I'm going to go right for the madam's office, and I'm going to sit down. Well, I'm not even going to sit down. I'm just going to be in the middle of the room with all 3 books in front of me and the piece of paper, and I'm going to be decoding the piece of paper right there, and I'm going to be kneeling the entire time, like as if I'm asking for forgiveness, but it's just like, here's all the things. This is what I managed to do. Really sorry that I managed to make everything a bit, here, but I've got some questions, and I'm very sorry that in order for me to get this information, I've caused you a bit of trouble.
So again, I just want to be sure you're leaving the secret room just to go and sit in her office and start doing this work.
Yeah.
Okay. It will take a couple of minutes before but you will be found, of course. And I'm just going to assume that you just sit there while her guards file in, and then she comes in and walks to her seat and sits down.
I'm going to decode the page, and I'm going to see if it's got any relevant information.
Make this was a short amount of time, so
Yeah.
make an intelligence check at disadvantage.
So that is 7, and that is 9. So 7.
7. You get nothing of use out of this paper. You would need probably a solid night to work on it. But she'll just sit there and stare at you for a moment.
I'm going to get on my knees and just place the 3 books in front of me. And then the piece of paper, and I'm just going to be like, really sorry.
She doesn't say anything. She's just staring at you, waiting.
Is Isadora still in the mine? Or because you have her objects, is she been released from there?
Does she mean anything to you?
I kind of figured that she would mean something to you because you had her journal inside of the room.
She just stares at you. All of this for a journal for a person you don't even know. What did you hear about the journal?
I could offer my abilities and security services, but I think you'd probably just beat the shit out of me and kill me anyways.
That
But-
is most likely the answer.
Yeah. No, I actually just found it while I was trying to find your office. I managed to find all the secret stuff before I came over here. Which says something about my own stupidity openly stating this, but I figure if I'm going to die anyways, I might as well just tell you the truth.
She's now a little bit curious, and she leans forward with genuine interest in her eyes and says, if you came in here with no knowledge of who Isadora is, why did you bother?
Figured she'd be important to you, and if I could help because of the fact that you've got her stuff.
But you never even knew she existed. You broke in before you knew about the journal. Why?
Well, I was trying.
And I need
I
you
was
to
trying
make
to-
a wisdom save.
That is going to be a 6.
There is a power in her voice when she says, tell me the truth.
I was originally just looking for information in regards to the idiot kid, but made myself into a bigger idiot and figured that, you know, if this person meant something to you, then it might be something to look for just to better our own relationship.
She leans back. Now all of this has turned into like a mischievous thing for her. She's almost ready to start chuckling at this. You broke into my office, both of my offices, robbed me blatantly, no attempt to hide the fact that you were doing so, might I add, just because you wanted to work with me. How do you feel that is going for you?
Right about now, because I got caught, pretty bad. But if I hadn't have gotten caught until I actually mentioned the better information and managed to get Isadora for you, probably would have gone a lot better. Probably would have been a few hurt feelings, but then there would have also been oh, hey, he cared enough about me to figure out some more. Didn't really want to say much about it, but decided to go through with this and try to do something for me.
One last question for you, and you can choose not to answer this, of course, but I will kill you if you don't. Why should I let you leave here now? You have done nothing to impress me except with your sheer stupidity.
I mean, who else am I going to hurt but myself and my stupidity?
That doesn't really incentivize me to let you live. You know nothing of my actual operations beyond what people already know. So it's not like you are going to hurt my business side. I will, she does look at a couple of the guards, be improving on security measures slightly, but nothing too drastic. You have only proven that you were stupid enough to try, and even stupider to allow yourself to get caught afterwards.
You already know something about me that probably not very many people are going to believe.
And honestly, that knowledge does very little for me. It made you amusing. It shows your not so much desperation, but overwhelming self-confidence. But I don't feel like a confident man is really going to be of any use to me. I need someone capable.
That ranger was my greatest friend. I went through absolute hell for him. I want to make this a viable business partnership for both of us. What makes you think that I won't do that for your friend if Isadora is the person that's there and she means something to you?
I
I'm
never
willing to
met
do-
Isadora a day in my life.
I'm going to do an insight check.
Sure.
That is going to be a 13.
Nope, she has no idea who Isadora is beyond this journal that she kept. Isadora was just one more adventurer who went in over their head. You should be feeling very much in that vein right now.
No, because it
So
doesn't make
you-
sense. No, I'm going to openly state this. It doesn't make sense that you would just keep somebody's journal like that unless they meant something to you. Either because you have some connection to them emotionally or something else. Or something else.
She's waiting for you to connect the dots to see what answer. She's not giving you anything. She wants to see what you come up with. Because you're amusing her, and that's the only reason you're still alive. So keep amusing her.
I'm going to ask her something in Elvish that she would have to answer truthfully. How did you learn this language?
One quick question for you. Why should she answer you truthfully?
Because if she lies, she's either holding back information as to how there's a connection, or she is Isadora.
Okay, here is her honest response with you giving me that information. I don't see how that helps you out in the slightest.
No, it wouldn't. But at the same time,
I have
way
picked up a great many languages in my life. I speak many of them.
you're circling. Why are you not answering?
Maybe you just can't understand the answers before you. You have some potential, but it is being wasted on your arrogance in yourself.
I'm not actually being arrogant at all.
You believe
I'm-
that this particular display was going to be enough to impress me. That's pretty arrogant.
No, I didn't actually. I kind of expect half the things that I do are either going to end up with me dying or with somebody actually looking at me with so much pity that they either take me under their wing or they just beat me to death.
She stares at you in disbelief for a moment before she just starts to laugh. It's like, oh, by all of the forsaken gods, you are this stupid. I cannot believe it. There's no deception about you. You honestly haven't thought beyond the next 30 seconds of your entire life, have you?
Depends on the situation, but for the greater part, no, I haven't.
I am going to call on you for a favor at some point in time. Now, you can always decline the favor, but then you will no longer be in my good graces. And that is the only thing that is keeping me from having these men beat you with your own legs. At which point we will bind the wounds, throw you out, and then just let the rats do whatever they want to do with you. Do we have an accord?
I'm genuine. Like, there's just this genuine amount of happiness when she mentions, "I will have them beat you. I would have them beat you with your own legs." Like, that's actually a new one.
I try to be creative.
I even without this incident, if you would but ask, I would do anything to help you, because you're honestly a great and generous person, and the banter earlier was quite fun.
I am a
So
great and generous person, and I'm not.
yes, yes, you are. So yes, anything that you ask of me, I shall perform within my best duties to be able to do. And if I cannot do them, then yes, my life is forfeit.
Excellent. I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Leave the books.
Yep. I just get up very slowly. I walk out.
And there's like half a dozen eyes on you as you walk past these guards.
No, just you can tell that there's just this entire look of, yep, if I die here, that's actually quite cool. It's like there's no way to top this in my life.
Yeah. Madam Shortly just has this constant grin on her face. Like, I have just met the absolute stupidest man to ever walk this earth. And I'm just going to send him out on a fool's errand because he won't even realize it's a stupid choice. Like, so again, you're only alive because she finds you amusing.
Yes, that's the only reason why I'm ever alive. People find me funny.
Well, with that, you leave. You leave the card house. I don't know where you go from here, but you know that you're going to be watched.
I just tie my face covering around my bald head, because I imagine at this point something is raining down from the sky upon my character. I was just like, yep.
Yep, you walk out into the cold rain. We are in the autumn months now, so it's the days are warm, but the nights are chilly, and now it's raining on you just because it's dramatically appropriate.
Just kind of dust my hands off, look at them, and then go, God damn, I should have gotten the shrimp cocktail while I was in there. Oh well. Walk off towards a pub.
You go to a pub. Inside there's the normal, adventurer's job board. You do happen to see one where the mine school is looking for some adventurers. I don't know if you want to pick up that flyer or not, but you sit down and you can have yourself a warm drink.
I will look over what the mime school says it's looking for adventurers for.
They just say that they are looking for some people to go and do some work in the mines, but that could be something that we explore later on in the next session. Kyle, you do not need to walk around unsupervised. That's all I got to say. Your character should not be unsupervised.
At the same time, it's just like the honesty is refreshing in a thief.
It is. It's a unique tactic. Mostly it's the fact that you walk into a room and say, "Hi, I'm the new employee." Because yeah, that's going to work.
You wouldn't believe how many games I've done that, and it has.
And if it hadn't been for the fact that, you had to roll against 3 different people and 2 of them got very good perceptions, because it almost worked. If you had fooled all 3, I would have been like, "Oh, I hate these guys." I would have thrown them out. But one of them got a nat 20, and then that's when they tested you with the wrong name. Even then, you had a chance to get it right, but you rolled with it. It was beautiful, but it was the wrong move. I was about to have to use the soundboard to.
I can't believe she got away with that again.
But no. But no, they caught you. And then it's just like you had so many opportunities to escape. You went and turned yourself in. I will never understand your logic in these things, but that's why the game is always such a compelling one for me. I don't know what to plan for.
There is a logic to why I turned myself in. It is this entire thing of, if I go outside, I'm not going to be able to explain myself. I'm just going to die.
That's fair. What I thought you were going to do was just like run as fast as you could to get out of the building and then take your time to decode these messages. Instead, you're like, "Nah, let's go talk to the boss. Because I'm over here all alone. Andy isn't going to beat me to death." Almost did.
Oh, no, I was fully expecting to be beaten to death. You show up, you're just sitting, you're not even sitting down in a chair. You're just kneeling in the middle of the room, trying to decipher everything with all the shit that you've just stolen from her in front of you.
And here's the thing.
Which,
had you taken any other route, she might have gone for that. Had you stayed in the secret passage, maybe she would have talked to you a little bit more openly. But if you had been in there, like taking up a position of arrogance, like you got one over on her, this could have been differently. But you played it just right to be like, no, I really am this stupid. And she's like, there's a game to be had here. Let's find out what it is. So yeah, she just wants to see, are you really that stupid? And in the future, there's going to be a whole quest chain dedicated to, is Joseph that stupid? I think we should call it here because I don't think we're going to top this tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us so much. Cal, thank you for derailing all of my plans beautifully again. I swear I had a whole page written up, which was this it's on the back of something. I don't want to show you the notes because you might read them. It was like, oh, this would be a really challenging thing to do. And I get to incorporate all these different monsters and these different abilities. I'm going to go and make a deal with the loan sharks.
I'm going
and here's the thing. Like I said, this was a character I was going to introduce. You just bumped her up and put the other guys on the back burner. So before I stop this, here's a little bit of advice for DMs. Don't have a set plan that you want to see happen. Have 3 vague ideas you can build on. And I say 3 because somehow the players are going to avoid those first 2. Have that one in the background, like, okay, you're up to bat now. They're pitching lefty, so bring in the lefty batter. Oh. And I've really been studying on being a DM, but nothing will top you and Jesse. Just out of nowhere. Don't know where you got the idea, but it ran for it.
Pretty much, I'm probably the guy that the Coen brothers would look at and go, let's just follow him. Like, movies.
Yeah. Put you in a pastel colored setting, you would be the main you would be, I don't want to say you'd be the protagonist, you would be the person the story's centered around, but there would be all this weird shit happening around you. You'd be like the Mr. Bean version of it.
I'd be like C-3PO for Star Wars.
No, I wanted to give you more credit than that. Because, like, okay, Mr. B would walk into a room, he would do a couple of small things, and then all of a sudden that would somehow undo the carefully constructed heist all these master criminals had planned, just because he adjusted a painting and accidentally set off the silent alarm early, and then walked away to go have a snack at the other side of the room. And then the guards would rush in and arrest the criminals. And he'd be like, that's very interesting. I wish I'd been a part of it. That's you. Except you're somehow, you're like if Mr. B was trying to be a criminal. Like, you have a plan. You think you're going to do something. You somehow stumble into a bigger problem.
I am literally a Coen brothers movie.
Yes, you are. You are the Grand Budapest Hotel concierge.
And now you know who I modeled this character off of.
I know. I just let's cut this here. You can find Kyle online under Flint Uwood. Was it 743, 763,
756?
I'm never going to get that right. Anyway, Flint Uwood. Numbers. You say it. I'm gonna get it
756.
wrong.
Flint Ewan 756 here on Twitch and on Twitter and various other places. I'm also here every other Sunday. And starting in a couple of months, I'm going to be running, hopefully for Andy and the rest of my group, a Cyberpunk Red live play that will hopefully allow for Andy to do to me what I do to him on a constant basis.
I'm not sure I can. And that's not to diminish my skills as a player. I am proud of myself as a player, but I definitely come about things from a different viewpoint than yourself. I probably would have been the guy who was, like misty form going through the vents type of thing. So I think we would have gotten to a similar space, but we would have done it in a very different way. Mm-hmm. So I can wreck your plans, but I can't wreck them in the way that you wreck mine. So yeah, you should definitely tune in when he starts running those games, whether I'm a part of them or not. Hopefully I will be, but I'm not familiar with the system and I need to check that out because anyway, as for me, I am Warp Films all over the internet. I am honestly, I'm going to start prepping another stream because mostly I'm very, very bored. And I realized that if I run another game, I don't have to spend money to amuse myself. I just have to take all the stuff I already own and, run another game. So I'm hoping to do Anime 5e and rebuild the very first game we ever ran, the Expendable Crew, through a new system and some new people. It'd be great to get some of the old ones back, but I know schedules don't always work out. So we're going to see how that goes. So yeah, follow me at Warp Films or Trick Roll on Twitter, and you will be able to know when I'm doing that. And Kyle, when his game's ready to run, we'll be promoting it there too. So until then, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Farewell.